Hi guys, and welcome to my channel. My name's Teresa and I'm the Carbootcrafter, and welcome back to my series, my embellishments month. So this week, this time I'm making these cute little jackets and skirts, these little suits. Aren't they sweet? And a little bit different to some of the earlier videos I did, which were the dresses. These are so simple, but they look really complicated, don't they? But they are, trust me, very, very simple. So this size, I think they're roughly about 3.5 inches. Yeah. And these are made with 3 pieces of 3x3 square paper. I'm going to show you how to make them, but I'm going to use 6x6 papers just so as you can see the technique to do them. But you know, it's 3 squares, whatever size you want to do. So you start off with 3 pieces. Now I like to do my suits with the skirt and the jacket matching, which is these two, but you can mix and match, do whatever works for you. And these are 6x6 papers, so I'm going to pop them to one side and we're going to work on the shirt. Now the shirt is a contrasting colour, just so as it looks a little bit different and stands out as that one does in the middle there, like that. What you need to do is cut this down ever so slightly. So on the 6x6 I've cut it down on two sides by 1/4 inch. So it's a 5 3/4 by 5 3/4 square rather than the 6x6 I started off with. And if you want to do it smaller, you'll do something similar. So with these ones, I cut my shirt down by 1/8 inch. So they were 2 7/8 by 2 7/8 rather than 3x3. You'll start off by folding it in half like that and giving that a good score. Open it back up and you can see I've already put a pencil line in the middle so you can see. You're then going to bring in the 2 edges. So bring in this edge, line it up and give that a good crease with your bone folder, and then turn it round and do exactly the same with this one. Bring it in, line it up, buff it up as well as you can, because this is what's going to be on show, so you want that join right up there. Once you've done that, at one end I'm going to use my ruler just because it's easier for me. I'm going to then put my ruler down across my paper about 1/4 inch from the edge. Now it's 1/4 inch on the 6x6 papers. This is creating the collar. You'll go slightly, if this was the 3x3 or the 2 7/8 by 2 7/8, you'll go much smaller, maybe about 1/8 inch, but I'm on my much bigger paper, so I'm using this one. And then what you'll do is you'll just use your ruler to hold it and bring it up like that. Okay, or do it freehand if that works for you. I'm just using the ruler because this is the larger paper and it just makes life a little bit easier for me. And then you're going to crease that back. Like I say, that's about 1/4 inch. Once you've done that, this is our open size. Once you've done that, I use my bone fold. I'm swapping to this one, and I just curl out to that point. It's going to help me to create the collar. So I've done that, so I'm going to do the same on this side, just curling out to that point to create my collar. Breaks the fibers, and because I've got I've got 4 pieces here that I'm folding, it just makes the paper not fight against you quite as much. So we've just worked on the open side, so I'm going to flip it over, and again I've got my line down the middle, my first score, and I'm going to bring this corner in, bring it all the way over to that first crease. And once I'm happy about where it is, let's bring it up ever so slightly. Once I'm happy where it is, I'm going to use my bone folder and crease that down like that. And once I've done that, I'm bringing this side over, and I want these two, so that point and that point, I want them to meet in the middle to create my collar. So I'm just going to bring it over and manipulate it until it's about the same, and there we go. So that's my collar created, and you can see we've got the collar there. Normally now I'd be doing other folds to create the sleeves, etc., but we don't need to with this one because this is going inside the jacket. You're just now going to bring this up and tuck it under. Let me turn it round so you can see. I'm just tucking it under that collar like that. I'm lining up, so this is the opening there, lining it up like that so it's straight all the way down, popping my finger there and creasing it like that all the way across. So now we have a very, very basic shirt, but that's all we need because this is now going to go inside the jacket. Okay, if you want, you can open it up, and I'm going to grab a little bit of glue and put a couple of points of glue on the inside just to hold it for me, but I don't need to worry too much because the collar does hold it in place. Oh, let's tuck it in properly. Easier when it's facing me. There we go. So that's our shirt complete. Okay, I'm just going to rub that so that the glue gets a chance. I'm going to pop it over there to dry, and I'm going to bring in now for my jacket, and exactly as we did the last time, I'm folding it in half, opening it up, and I'm bringing that in as well to fold into the middle crease line. So there's my crease line there, and I've just folded that in, turning that round, and I'm bringing this in and folding it back in. I don't have to be quite, I'm not going to buff it up quite as much as I did with the shirt because we do need to make sure that the shirt fits. So what I'm going to do is bring my shirt over, open it up, pop it in and make sure it fits, which it does beautifully. Okay, I can take that back out again now and pop it back over there. Just going to pop some glue on so that I've got a pot of glue as a weight to hold that in place. Now, if you look on my embellishments, you will see that some of them have got little trims on the bottom. That one doesn't. Some of them have got little trims on the sleeve, and that one doesn't. So it's up to you whether you want to put the trims on or not. I'm going to show you with the trim and then I'll explain where they go. So first thing you're going to do, again, getting your ruler, at one end about 1/4 of an inch, you're going to do another fold up, and this is how we create our trim. Fold that up like that, give that a really good secure, and then turn it and do the other end and do exactly the same with your two ends. You're going to fold them up. Now one end will be the trim at the bottom of your jacket, and one end will be the trim on the sleeves, and I'll explain that 1 second once I've given that a good like that. Okay, so I'm going to open them both up, and then what I want to do is fold that so that the white is on the outside. If you've got double-sided paper, then it will be whatever colour is on the inside. So we've got that. Now, if you only wanted to do the bottom, then just do one end and fold it as I'm going to fold it in a minute. If you only wanted to do trim on the sleeves, then just do this end and do the trim on the sleeves. Or if you don't want any trim at all, then don't do these folds here like I've just done. Okay, so we're going to fold it back over like that, and using our bone folder reinforce those that we've just done. And if you don't want to do them, you won't have done that step. Okay, so this is going to be my top, this is going to be my bottom. No, it isn't, that's slightly narrower. So sorry. So this is going to be my top and this is going to be my bottom. So what you're going to do is you're going to put your finger roughly at the bottom, and then you're going to bring this out at an angle. So you want to make a crease from where your finger is up to this point on both sides, from that point to your finger there. So bring that out as much as you can like that, and crease that down really well, and then do exactly the same over the other side. Bring that over like that up the way to that point, and when you've got that, bring your bone folder and crease that really well like that. And we're starting now to make the jacket. Once we've got to this point, I'm going to bring my shirt back in, because I want my shirt to sit inside at a certain point. So I'm just going to take it down. So I want my shirt about there, so I need to fold about here. So I'm going to fold this part back like this. So it's not quite all the way down to the bottom. We're not folding it in half, but you get a shorter jacket if you fold it in half. And if you fold it longer, that's not the end of the world either. And that is how we create our jacket. Wasn't that simple and easy? And then you get your shirt and you pop your shirt in, bring it all the way up to the top, and that is the top of your suit, almost done. Before I go on to the next stage, what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab some glue and I'm going to put a line of it across here, just to hold this down while I do the skirt part. Put that back in there, and again I'm going to just stand my pot of glue on top just to hold it. Now I'm going to bring in this part. So this is our other 6x6 paper, and again exactly the same first folds we're going to do. So fold it in half like that, and then bring in these. So if I put that line there so you can see where my first crease is, we're going to bring that in, line it up, just staying this side of the crease. And this is very much like the first skirt, the dress, you know, the first dress I created in the series. It's very much like the skirt on that we're creating here. So we've done that. We can open that out, just reinforce that a little bit more. I'm going to open that out like that. So we've got our folds like that. And now what we want to do is we want to bring this fold to join that fold. And if you remember, we've worked on this side, flip it over. On the dress, what I did was I brought this crease over, lined it up with that crease, and I'm creating a crease behind that piece. So there's my new crease that I'm making there. So fold that all down. So if I open it up, you can see that I've got my first quarter, and my second quarter now has that valley fold in the middle of it. Okay. I'll show you how I do it on these smaller sheets. That's how you do it. But I usually, if it's a smaller sheet, I just do it in my hands. So I just pinch it, my fingers like that, pop these two fingers in the middle to push it down, and then pinch it together like that. So whichever method works for you, it's exactly the same result. So I've now got the same folds. So I've got that mountain, the valley in the second, the valley in the third, and then that mountain there as well. Okay, so let me just show you again. So I've folded my papers in half, I've opened it up, I've folded it into quarters so that I've got that gatefold. I've opened it up and flipped it over. I've taken this crease, I've brought it to that middle crease, and I've created that crease there. I've then done the same on this side by bringing this crease to the middle and creasing it down to create that there. Or if you want, you can do the method I do, which is get your two like that in your fingers and just pinch it together, and you can do that on both sides. I just find it really quick and easy when doing this. Anyway, as long as you end up there, that's all that matters. So once we get to that point, you're going to lay it pattern face down, flatten that out, and bring those across like that. Now hold on, I need to think a second. No, that's it. Pattern face up. That's where I went wrong. Pattern face up and have that middle crease all the way down, so that that was only as a guide for measuring. Bring these two pieces in like that, and then I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to fold it up a little bit. I like to fold up about 1/3 of the way and then crease, because this piece now, this is going to be our skirt. Okay, so I'm going to flip it back, and exactly as we did on the skirt of the dress, the first dress we did, I'm going to hold it down, going to actually reinforce those creases a little bit more at the top. So holding it down, so we've got that opening there, haven't we? I'm going to pop my finger at the top, and I'm going to work on this side by again pulling that out to create our skirt, exactly as we did on the dress. So choose what width you want to use for your skirt and reinforce that crease with your bone folder. Again, you've got this piece coming up, and that's fine. We're just going to put our bone folder on that corner and bring it out like that, and we start to create the waist of the skirt. I'm going to do exactly the same on this side. So I'm going to pop my finger there, and I'm going to pull this side out until I'm happy about where I want it, trying to match it up a little bit with this side, well, quite a lot actually with this side. And when I'm happy that it's about the same, I'm going to then start finger creasing, bringing my bone folder in, going all the way from the top down to create that fold. And again, this side has come up from where it was, And again, I'm going to use my bone folder and just go like that. And that then creates the skirt. But as you can see, it's still a little bit boxy. So I'm going to bring my jacket across so that I can measure. So it's a bit too wide to go in there anyway, so we need to take a little bit off there. So flipping it over again, I'm bringing in my ruler again. And I'm going to go from the point at the bottom, so this is the top of the skirt, that very narrow V at the top, popping it down, bottom of the skirt, I'm going to pop my ruler on, and I want this corner, line it up with just over from this, and I'm going to bring it in about quarter, well, that's more than a quarter of an inch, that's probably about 3/8 of an inch. And then I'm going to use my bone folder to fold along. Do it freehand if that works for you. I just want to have a nice straight line on this, so crease that down like that, and do exactly the same on this side. So I'm coming in about the same amount as I have there, and I'm going to come in ever so slightly off that. If I turn it that way, you might be able to see a little bit better. So this is the bottom of my skirt, so I've come in, yep, at the same amount, hold it steady, bring in my bone folder, get it under that paper, using my ruler as a guide, and then just roll it ever so slightly into that corner. There we go, and use my bone folder to fold that down, and then my skirt should slide very easily into my jacket. I usually put it behind the shirt like that. And then if you want, you can use your glue. So I'm going to take my glue and I'm going to use it to stick it all together again. So let's slide that shirt out and pop some glue on the back. And this is just to hold it in place so it doesn't all fall apart when I want to use it. So slide that back up so that the collar is coming out of the top. I'm going to use my bone folder just to make sure that that glue has contact on the back of the jacket. Then on the back of the skirt, I'm going to put a little bit of glue to hold those seams down there, and put some glue across the back of the skirt there to hold it inside the jacket like that. So, and once I've done that, if I want to, I can then put a little line or two of glue inside the jacket just to hold it in place as well. I'm not going to put too much in because I like a little bit of movement on the jacket. Now, before I completely finish, I will just explain about the top. So on the smaller ones, let me just bring them in. Some of them are still quite boxy, like this one. I quite like it on there, and this is how it's boxy on this one. I quite like it. It reminds me of a little sailor's suit. But sometimes if you prefer, you can have less of a boxy feel to the collars on your jackets. So to do that, and you probably do that this before you add your skirts. So add your shirt, add your jacket, flip it over, and all you're going to do is bring this down ever so slightly. So you're just going to fold that down just a little bit. So it does fight you because you have a lot of layers of paper here. So do it like that. Give it as many creases as you can to get it to hold in place. And on the same on the other side, roughly about the same. So you're coming from the collar here. So here's my collar, top of my shirt. You want that corner there, and you're going to bring it across to an angle where you feel that it looks a little bit less boxy on the shoulders. If I flip it back, you can see what I mean. You get a little bit of a slope there, but you do then have to address this very odd shape on your sleeves. So turn it back, and you're going to bring your sleeves across like that. Only a little bit, but just enough so that you've not got that very strange shape to your sleeves like that. So I'll just do this side as well, like that, and there you go. Add a little bit of glue to the back of it. As I say, I'm doing this one, but I don't mind it. I quite like it actually, the sort of the sailor collar look. And I would probably use a couple of pegs on there to hold it down until that completely dries on that corner, because we have got a lot of card stretching there. Okay, so that is how to make a suit, a girl's suit embellishments, and I hope you like it. I really like these. These are so cute. Remind me a little bit of school uniforms as well. But yeah, so there you go. If you do try any of these embellishments, do tag me so that I can see how you got on and what ideas you came up with. As always, you can embellish them up and bling them up with lace or glitter or pearls or bling, whatever you want. I always, as I said before, I always leave mine fairly plain because I don't know what projects I'm going to use these for. I prep them well in advance. Anyway, I hope you like them, and yeah, I hope you're enjoying the series. Do let me know in the comments below, and I'll speak to you in the next video. Bye for now.